right, we're ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh!
Woof.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Late to the Murder Party. Yeah, this is only an hour apart, and of course we are wrapping up the fall of the hunt. Yeah, like I said, hour apart. I am releasing these double feature for wrapping out October, because there's not another Friday after the 25th. That goes right into November. And I refused! So this has gone on long enough!
You know, you could release it on a day earlier.
Yeah.
I could, but
And happy Halloween!
I could, but like I don't know. Late to the Murder Party is a. Late to the Murder Party is strictly Fridays.
Peer pressure is good. Do it.
Just do what you want to do, sis.
Do it.
I like the idea of releasing a double feature.
like
That way
Nike
people
and
can
just
double
do it.
dip.
Oh, there you go.
Double dip.
We'll see
Why
what
would you
happens
just
there.
do this on the Starlight then?
I'll get there. Eventually.
Anyway. Is this the
Shut
you
up.
ever done
That's
that?
why.
Okay.
Anyways,
Who's snoring?
I don't know, but so yeah, we are wrapping things up, folks. Oh man, it's been a long ass fucking journey, but
Until the next one.
but we are at the
It's
final
been a long road to get where we've been.
Yes, like we'll get to the next one, but not as a part of this event. This event is exactly that. It's just an event, and we are wrapping this up. So, we are now at the present.
I think the most recent movie we've ever covered.
Yes.
I gotta think so. I don't think we've done anything as recent as this, as far as relative to when it came out and when we were recording.
True.
Yeah, no, the closest thing is Xeiren and I covering Ghosts Right Here, Right Now.
True.
But yeah, so this is awesome. This is great. We just watched Prey. Obviously, we've just talked about Prey. Prey came out 2 years prior, and it was a fantastic prequel to Predator. It was a fantastic entry. Now it's Alien's turn. Can they do it?
Yep.
Yes. I'm just saying that right now. Yes.
No.
So, enter 2024's Alien Romulus. With me to holy shit!
Ah, shit!
It's the return of the alien in the studio.
With still with his tail stuck in the ceiling.
Hey!
Only with consent.
Yeah, fair. With me.
What's consent?
With me to wrap up our journey here.
Do you think that I know anything about consent?
No.
Do you know my species?
I'll pull out the PowerPoint.
With me to wrap up here this fine fucking journey we've been on, for better or worse, is of course my good sister figure and co-host, the lovely Xeiren.
Hello.
The equally as lovely.
Pregnancy's a bitch.
Yes, it is. The equally as lovely Graveturtle.
Hello.
Hello.
The Belgian in wolf's clothing, who's very, very uncomfortable right now. Varren Kimbold.
Yeah, suddenly I'll be experiencing the pregnancy around here, apparently.
We, of course, have my good friend Zeno pass the remote.
In space, no one can say no to Rule 34.
Oh, God. And she died.
Or to go with the other one, in space, no one can hear you say no.
Yeah. We also have the awesome Wolfman Roy.
So we're gonna watch Alien Rubicon after this, right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Right.
And the chaotic Doc himself.
I have no joke for this. Yeah, I got nothing.
So question
Waiting.
is Alien Rubicon where the xenomorphs go and take back Rome?
No, I figured they were
No,
visiting
no, no.
certain parts of New England.
No. Rubicon, they like fight aliens in the jungle.
So, yeah, Alien Romulus. I saw the trailer for this, and I was fucking excited. Because I'm like, no, this is proper. This is getting back to formula. I love this.
Yeah,
So-
similar approach they did with Prey, where it's like, okay, we're gonna try and go back to basics with this thing and see how that works out. And funny enough, like Prey, Alien Romulus at first was going to be released on Hulu until the success of Prey actually said them like, okay, let's release it in the theaters instead. Let's see what happens then. And turns out really well, because it's like been one of the more profitable movies this year.
Oh, yeah. So, let's do this proper. While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonists come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. It's pretty basic.
Very, very basic.
Directed by Fede Alvarez.
I was gonna say that CGI is pretty terrifying.
Fede Alvarez, who is known for Don't Breathe, as well as the 2013 Evil Dead. And you know what?
Don't Breathe is amazing.
Brutal
both
as
very
fuck.
solid movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell, especially some Don't Breathe DNA in this particular movie.
Of course. DNA. Ah, I got you there.
Yes, because there was almost gonna be rape in Don't Breathe also.
Fede Alvarez, written by Fede Alvarez, Rodo I cannot say that last name.
Seguis?
And Dan O'Bannon has a credit on here.
Yeah,
Well,
because
it's based
all
off
based
the
on
characters.
Alien.
Characters,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, they will forever always, him and Shusett will always get credit because it's based on the
Credit, yeah.
characters.
Yep.
Our cast of 16 of 16 listed.
Which is funny because there's way more in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Kaylee how to say it?
Kaylee Spaney.
Kaylee Spaney as Rain. David Johnson as Andy. Archie Renault.
Yes.
Renault
Renault,
as Tyler. Isabella Merced as Kay. Spike Ford as Bjorn.
Fuck you, Bjorn.
Fuck you, Pierre.
Aileen Wu as Navarro. And then we've got the officer, a bunch of other little things.
Trevor
Dear
Newell
God, that
coming
guy is
back as the
terrifying and
Seymour.
played The Offspring. That guy actually looks
The rubber-
I see why.
rubber
That, that,
cheeky,
that,
yeah.
that was not an
That's
effect or
different.
anything. It was a body cast that guy was wearing.
Then we have some stuff with the we'll get to that. We'll
yeah,
get
we'll
to
get
that.
to that.
So
I do
This-
find it kind of funny that there's just someone credited as, well, uncredited as lewd dude.
I do want to say real quick because I took notes when I watched this in theaters.
I am not asking for a glass of water with these folks.
Not so much notes on the film because my movie thoughts were literally Alien Romulus is fucking awesome. But I took notes on the trailers I got. And I gotta say, one in particular, because somebody said this at the end when the credits were showing. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is technically a Disney joint now." And I'm laughing because I'm like, no, that's why when I got the trailer for Mufasa, I'm like, subtle Disney.
Yeah, no, I got the same actually, but when I saw it in theaters, I got Mufasa and the fucking Crow remake.
Yeah.
I didn't get either of those. I got that Halle Berry horror movie, and I got some other stuff.
I got Speak No Evil, which looks fucked up, and I'm actually down for it.
Which is
Oh
almost
yeah,
shot
that one
remake.
with James McAvoy. That
Yeah.
looks kind of dope.
Joker
Yeah,
2, which
that
looks
too.
fine.
Which-
Mufasa and Captain America 4, which I said, eh.
I got all those plus one called Heretic, which is
Oh,
essentially
Heretic!
Go on the
Jesus
Whoa.
Christ, Roy!
Whoa, what the fuck?
Drag race, I have lived near a steep hill.
Doc, you said heretic. The Inquisition is coming after you.
They are.
It's Heretic position. No,
Yeah,
Heretic is a-
no. Heretic looks really good in my opinion.
Yeah, it's basically
Sorry.
it's Hugh Grant. No, I was gonna say it's just Hugh Grant saying, "Hey, you're Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Come into my maze."
Come into my maze.
Sorry. Every time I see the trailer for Heretic, I just go, "Well, there's one of my teenage fears come to life."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this... Guys, I'm gonna say this right now.
Okay.
I'm going to say you're wrong.
The two franchises, with both franchises, I'm gonna say of the most current era of Alien and Predator movies, Prey and Romulus to me are right up there with the original Alien and Aliens and Predator 2. And I see you wrinkling your fucking nose.
What?
But
There are some things I can understand. I have some criticisms with Romulus, but it is a very good addition to this franchise. And I think after the fourth Predator movie, which is called I forgot what it's
Matt
called.
Damon.
It's called Matt Damon. I think, and with the whole thing with Alien Covenant, I think these two are back. I think they're fucking back.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Especially because, I mean, I'll be talking a bit about this, but Romulus really takes a lot of cues from pretty much everything that came before it. Even like shit like Alien Isolation was apparently quite the influence on this movie.
I could absolutely
I can
see
see
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the director was quite the fan of the game, and has even put in like Easter eggs, like the fucking the save stations are actually in the movie.
I didn't notice that.
You could see it.
That's
You could
cool.
actually see it. Yeah. Yeah, no, this... Guys, this is the brutal Alien film that I have wanted ever since the first two.
Yeah, as I said, like when it comes to the don't breathe DNA and whatever you're not in it, Fede Alvarez really has this talent of just making stuff feel visceral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That scene where they got to be very, very quiet. Well, it was
Mhm.
like just and it just building the tension. I was like, it's so well done.
Just gotta be very, very quiet when we open the door and there's a misplacement in temperature.
Also, it seems like you're trying to crack your bracky or something, Pass.
Yeah, the dude, the face huggers are one absolutely fucking terrifying now.
Yeah,
Oh, did you like
I
that when
really
they pulled one of them off, you got to see how long their ovipositor is?
Yeah, slapped her in the face.
Yeah.
Like,
Slapped
that
him in
was
the
a
face.
John Holmes level. Like,
Well, fuck. Even before then, like every time we've seen facehuggers, it's always like, oh, there's a focus on the tail, focus on the legs, even a bit of a focus on the mouth. In this one, it's like one tries to latch on, and for the first time, you see the depositor just sliding all over this dude's face, and you're just like, and it was bad. Is like, I'm just in the theater going, wow, been there, done
Yeah.
that, because it's just like it got almost like we all know what the face hugger allegory is. We all know. We all
That
fucking
was
know.
a dick slap in the face.
But I have to applaud Alvarez for giving it just slightly a pornographic aspect to it
God,
to
yeah.
really hammer it home.
yeah.
Exactly what it is. Like it's not just a metaphor anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's done in a way that if like a 10-year-old walked into the room, they're not gonna know, but every adult in the room's gonna know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, you
no.
know what? The 10-year-olds with the internet now, they might
Who
know.
knows?
Who knows? But yeah,
But
the way
you know what I
this-
mean. It's
Yeah.
it's graphic without overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The way this movie handled the facehuggers is definitely like I think probably my favorite part of the whole movie, because facehuggers, at least for me, have always been like one of the more terrifying phase of the alien life cycle, just because they can just pop out of anywhere, and then if they latch onto you, it's just done. You're fucking done.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
And just the way how they make them like just skitter around in the water, the whole climbing all over.
They swim now?
They
What?
swim now.
They swim now.
They swim now.
They swim now.
They swim now.
Like we've seen them crawl, we've seen them jump, we've even seen them, ride things like they're freaking skateboards. But we've never seen them swim until now.
I loved watching those things like they're like on top of like the equipment and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, first of all, those were practicals.
Mhm.
Yes,
Which
there's
I
a lot-
loved
Agile
it because
little
they
shits.
looked
if
like
you'll-
it gave me some Gremlin vibes a little bit. And I'm just like watching these things in there,
Okay,
and I'm like,
now I
these
wanna
things are
see a
characters
facehugger
now.
with like a mohawk.
Yeah, these things are
Like
like
Spike.
characters now, and I loved like when they're like, oh, there's a disrupted. And they're like,
So I'm gonna take the reins for a bit, just to give a little bit of context. So basically, we're following a bunch of young adult mine workers from a Wayland-Yutani mining colony, which that fucking colony, so grody, so gross. Like you
Oh, yeah.
feel the skis. Like
Oh, yeah.
you realize that they are just corporate slaves from the get-go through like some things where she has to like work with one of the bureaucrats and then she just gets her work hours doubled.
And you're going into the
Rain.
mines. Fuck you.
Yeah, and so Rain is our protagonist. She has essentially a brother who's an android. He's one of the oldest models out there, and her friends get a wild hair up their butts to be like, hey, there's this, craft coming through our, planet's atmosphere, and there's got to be cryopods on that motherfucker. Let's fly up there and steal them so that way we can get the fuck off this junk planet.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
when they get up there, they realize all too late that this place is just infested with xenomorphs. and so they have no idea what they're dealing with. That's one of the things about this film I love so much. It's just a bunch of randos. Like, they don't have any special training. They don't know jack shit about the craft they're on. Like, they are literally flying blind. And they just have to figure it out along the way.
And it's even more random than even like with the first movie, because like, yeah, sure, those were like space truckers, but at least they had a little bit of knowledge to like put some weapons together.
Exactly, and these guys don't.
And
So-
also the fact that there's a lot of thing that they were basically sacrificed. Like, the company knew where they were taking them.
Yeah, whereas
They knew
these
what was
guys,
going.
they infiltrated this space, which is very different from movies past.
Mm-hmm.
The thing we're getting at with the facehuggers is that they come across the facehuggers get out, and then a bunch of them wind up in this one particular room, at the end of this corridor, and they find out through things involving Andy the android that they can sense you by sound and changes in temperature, because they sense a lot like the predators. They can sense warm bodies in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they don't have eyes. That's
and
the thing.
Yeah, and
Also,
so
yes.
they're going based on sound and heat signature. Now, I will agree, there was one thing about that scene that drove me absolutely bonkers. Because even though the tension was great, and even though the actual acting in the scene was phenomenal, and the puppets were amazing with the facehuggers, I really wish they had had a physicist around. Just or even just a high school science teacher, because the one thing that was driving me nuts about that scene is like, okay, so you get the room to and boiling temperature, you get the room up to 98.6 degrees. You realize when you open that corridor door, all of that heat's going to get sucked out into the hallway, right? Because that's basic thermodynamics.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That was the one thing they overlooked in that scene that made me go, you know what, this is done very, very well, but you know what, I'm gonna let it slide. But at the same time, I'm like, that's not how thermodynamics works.
It's Bart with the cake says, "At least you tried."
At least you tried.
Like,
But-
that was one of those things that I just was like, oh, they should have fact checked that. But the acting was phenomenal. Like, the face hugger puppetry was phenomenal. Like, the vibe of the scene was pitch perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I just got way too many good grades in class grade.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, once
And
you
that-
open that door, you're fucked.
Yeah, for that scene, it's just like, yeah, you're gonna get either cold air from the hallway, like you're going in and such, and it's not gonna maintain the temperature. But it's just like, I'll allow it, because the rest of the scene was good, and it's just like,
It was also another good kind of again call back again to Dome Brief, where like with the whole thing with Dome Brief was, they couldn't make any sound, to not get picked up by the blind guy,
By blind Stephen Lang.
blind Stephen fucking Lang.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I also want to say, man, this movie, yeah, like, if you thought Wayland Yutani was bad before,
Oh yeah.
holy
oh
shit.
my gosh.
That's when I got it's too mustache twirly. I mean, they're
Really,
they're not
really,
bad.
the mining colony? Do I need to like send you some Tennessee Ford?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, you got the mining colony, but you get this scene where they say, "Oh, well, we told all mine workers that they have to stay because there's a shortage," and then they instantly boot up for hours. It's like, now that's not right. They would have told them like 2 months before.
This is also being produced by a company, Disney, that tried to say, you can't sue for wrongful death in our restaurants because you had a trial of Disney Plus.
Right, but this was
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
This is standard corporate bullshit that they would pull.
This is
Yeah.
no. This is also
they
the
wouldn't
thing that
just pull it
Technos
out
are
of the
trying to
bus
rebuild the
immediately.
company.
There's
they're
no
trying to
unions
rebuild-
here.
there's
No,
no unions,
this is-
dude.
This is literally a fucking company town. Like, it is literally St. Peter, don't you call me because I can't go. I owe my soul to the company
The
store.
company store.
And this movie did a really good job of making like Wayland Yutani feel incredibly oppressive
Mhm.
and
Yes.
everywhere at once. Because like in like the early scenes where they're still on the planet, it's like you instantly know why these people want to get away, why they want to
Mhm.
steal the cryopod
Oh, right,
and
yeah.
escape. And like even when they're on the space station, you're seeing like the Wayland Yutani logo absolutely everywhere on everything, on like the spacesuits, on like the walls, on like
Also on their
absolutely.
T-shirts.
Yeah, absolutely everywhere. I don't think there's really a scene where like the company's logo isn't somewhere.
I mean, hell, it's on their fucking houses. Like they have these, you know, domiciles that everyone lives in that literally looks like the most cramped trailer park you've ever seen in your fucking life. And on the ends of all their houses, there are Wayland Yutani logos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is
no,
one
I
of-
buy this.
A lot of this movie is also, trying to get out of fucking corporate slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the idea that's why it's like it's very much a company town, which unfortunately tech bros today are trying to fucking remake, and it's like, could you not?
Yeah.
Could you not? But yeah, it's you've got the whole thing with the company where it's like you have to do a certain amount of time before they'll release you from your contract. Oops, we can't, because who are you going to appeal to? There is no other law.
Mm-hmm.
Wayland Yutani is fucking God, and they're like, we thank you for your service. Like, the fact is, miners are going down there with fucking canaries.
Yeah, literal canaries.
Now that was overboard.
No,
That was
actually,
literally overboard.
that actually makes sense, because the fact is, we are not going to give you this. We don't care. We don't care. Like, they're literally on a planet that looks like it's just a planet of coal or some
Mhm.
shit. And they're, because when you see up there, you see all these fires and stuff. It's like, oh shit. But it really is the fact that, yeah, we aren't going to put any kind of thing. I mean, remember, like, Wayland Yutani is supposed to be a satire of these corporations, and we're seeing corporations doing worse and worse shit nowadays. I mean, let's not forget there was a corporation who decided we're just going to continue using the same submersible to go to the Titanic, and then it just went.
Yeah.
No, it's the orcas that did it.
Now, I can say this. Do we know any corporations that are doing exactly this today? No.
No.
What it's
We have our
trying to
suspicions.
convey is what it's trying to convey is if we let them keep walking all over us, this is what is what the future is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
It's hyper
It's-
post-capitalism.
It's hyper post capitalism, and it's classic dystopian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's a reference to the past, but also kind of trying to warn about the future. That's what it's
Yeah.
doing. That's what the
Yeah.
canary is there. That is a direct,
Yeah.
reference to history
Mm-hmm.
and how out of control companies were at that time. And here we are seeing that in this future space at a time where we have concerns about how companies treat their employees.
Now I'm kind of imagining a scene somewhere in the background. It's like, yep, here's our new shipment of canaries, everybody.
I
don't-
just think it's rather fascinating. We only ever see the one, and it's being carried by a small group of guys.
Yeah.
Basically, others don't have it, which makes me wonder. If those guys literally scrimped together whatever pocket money they had just to have one shipped in. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
literally that bad. Like, the safety measures are that bad
Mm-hmm.
to the point
Honestly-
where they're forced to buy their own.
Yeah, honestly, the
Yeah.
best reference I can give for this as comparison, if you ever played the Outer Worlds, and how a lot of their a lot of the companies treat their colony. There is a lot of that hypercapitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, Spacer's Choice, aka Space Walmart.
I mean, but yeah, the idea is there's they like the ships all have faster than light travel, though it's very slow, and you don't have cryopods, so fuck you, you can't go nowhere
Yep,
unless you
so-
find it.
So hence they need the pods
That's
to
it.
make
Yeah,
the
they need the
make the
pods.
9-year journey to get to the new planet.
Which it's also that's a long like it didn't normally. It's like we put like the cheapest fucking FTL on here. It was 9 years to get to the nearest planet.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck,
Yeah,
man.
because it's a ramshackle shuttle they really have.
Yeah, it's basically that. Even the Nostromo went pretty like it was like it would take 10 months to get what 20 light years.
Yeah, and
From
they were
LV
and they were also carrying like 40,000 tons of cargo with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
So we get the
But-
most visceral chest bursting scene I've ever fucking seen.
That was yeah. Also,
Mm.
but I do also want to say we also have so oh hold on
there's
the
another
Whale
draft
and
race.
Ookami, drag races there.
Mm-hmm.
We have also the android Andy, who is considered by the company to be defective,
Mm-hmm.
but the Predators would think that he has superpowers. He's the
Oh my
next stage of human
God.
evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give that he actually does act very much like somebody who has autism. It's not,
Mhm.
Full on Rain Man. There are things that it's not. I don't think it's full on Rain Man. There's issues, but also the fact is just a little broken. What the fuck is going on?
Sound.
Sarah is-
I'm
Sarah's
hitting
using
you with the
this-
bonk stick.
Why? Why am I being hit with why are you hitting me with the bonk stick?
You know.
I mean,
why.
wow. But no, actually, they even said it like that was the whole thing was that when Andy is defective, it was supposed to kind of, and I think he even said that was his method was kind of acting like he had a high functioning autism.
I haven't seen any of that, but
I don't know. This was one of the
I
throwing
saw-
Doc under the bus because I love doing it. That's what one of the arguments Doc had with me on that was. They were saying it's like, yeah, so apparently malfunctioning means you have autism, and I'm like, not necessarily, because to me that kind of behavior doesn't always 100% ring autism. Like it just.
Well, it's either it's autism or it's fucking Lenny from A Vice and Men. What I get a lot out of Andy.
But
Always touch.
but also it's the company thinks that's defective. I
Mhm.
didn't say. Now
Yeah.
some of the people might also, but that's because they're assholes. Like
Yeah.
yeah, they are.
Like,
But
it-
also
yeah.
I have to give props to the actor because the
David
difference.
Johnson, yeah.
Dude, he
but
did so good.
The difference in his acting, his everything about it, like as soon as he gets his upgrade, boom, it's like a different character. It's like, oh damn.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, no, and
Right
Andy is really the best character in the whole movie.
I
in
would
my opinion.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I really like
Like-
his
like-
character.
He's definitely the most
Like-
interesting.
Like Andy and Rain's whole journey
Oh,
throughout
they're my
this
favorites. Yeah.
is what really holds this movie together, and also most of the crew.
Mhm.
Because like the only one of the other crew who like kind of has like kind of a thing going is and I can't remember what the relationship is from him to Rain. I always think he's his cousin. The cousin to Rain.
Tyler
Tyler?
is apparently a former boyfriend to Rain.
Oh,
And
okay.
Bjorn is the cousin to
To Tyler.
Tyler
Tyler.
and to the other. And
Okay.
the director also said father of that girl's baby.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is funny when she just flat out says it's like, oh no, like whose is it? Oh, it's just some asshole.
Everybody looks at the one asshole in the whole group. But yeah, like again, like Andy and Rain, like they are the ones who really want to see get through this. Want to see them get to the new planet. And then yeah, like when Andy gets the upgrade, because they need to upgrade him with new codes to get into a room at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, it is also very tense, just waiting for him to get the fucking upgrade going.
Okay. Can we just say there's going to be spoilers? If you haven't seen the movie, there's going to be fucking spoilers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Probably out the wazoo. We haven't gotten into the big spoilers yet.
Oh yeah, because there's one I'm like biting at the bit to say. Like,
what we're saying is, yeah, because can I just say this? Because they find a room which is like this cryo room. So there's a bunch of cryo fuel, which it is something that is added that we haven't seen before in the franchise. That they have fuel for the cryo. However, that's okay.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, and I guess that also since the other ships are faster, they don't need as much fuel. But it makes sense. So they pull one out, and oopsie doodle, that happens to warm up a whole bunch of facehuggers that are also, they don't call them facehuggers in this. They call them parasitoids or something like that, which is the scientific name for something that is a parasite that will kill the host.
Yep.
So it's an apt name.
There you go.
Yep. And yeah, also when they have to get the science officer, who is they find is an android, because they just find that there's this android. Oh, and
yes,
Bjorn was talking shit to Andy, and then Andy just holds him by the shirt, and he's like, oh, he starts pissing and shitting himself, like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it. And Andy's just really saying, because there's a big fucking hole in the bottom. It's like,
yeah, it's just like, don't drop now.
Yeah.
Mind the gap.
Yeah, but yeah, like the science officer, they pull his chip out, put it in Andy, and then suddenly Andy, after a long while, gets his upgrades, is able to unlock shit, and also now has his motor functions back.
Also,
we should talk about the science officer.
Can I do one? I do want to add one thing.
Yes.
You see when he reboots, his eyes go back in his head, and you also see the Weyland-Yutani logo on the backs of his.
Yep.
Because the Weyland-Yutani logo is absolutely everywhere.
Everywhere.
I know. But it also kind of reminds me of Prometheus with the Weyland logo on David's fingerprint.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
as he's updating Windows.
Yeah, as Ookami does say, like after a whole ordeal, and we get that, like, the android they pulled the shit out from, we see now his face and how he talks.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say
this is actually one of my major criticisms of this movie.
I gotta see. Okay. No, I fought this tooth and nail with Doc. Here's the thing. This made sense to me. Given the time period that it's supposed to take place, this made sense to me. My major criticism is it does not look good. It looked just fine to me. In the theaters, to me, I'm like, ooh.
No, it looked bad.
Also, when the name is Rook, and I'm sorry, if you were gonna name it Rook, that should have been Lance Henriksen.
Okay.
That would have been Bishop.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that.
Because they're both chess pieces.
Okay.
But no.
So I actually have something to say about it. Because when I was in the theater, the moment they pulled Rook onto the console, I saw the profile because he was backlit, and my brain went, no. My brain went, no, wait, what? No, how? And then it started happening, and you realize it's an Ash model, with a different name. Now, for those who don't know, the guy who originally played Ash in the original Alien,
Ian Holmes.
he's been dead for a while, they digitally superimpose his face onto an animatronic.
Yeah,
Which
they
that animatronic.
they had made an animatronic out of his face, and then they deep faked some stuff to
Yeah.
get some of the get stuff supposedly as right as they could.
And
Digital necromancy.
very much digital necromancy. Now, just to clarify, there is a lot of things you could argue ethically about this process. I know a lot of people have a lot of feeling, but when you get right down to it, if they're going to continue doing this sort of thing in films, this was the best way you could have honestly done it. They did it with the permission of the family that was left behind. They knew, based on what that family had to say, that he always longed to go back to this role. So it's easy to surmise that had he been alive, he would have allowed this to happen. And they got a voice actor who does an impeccable Ash impression to do the voice. And they did it with because they only really CG'd the face. Like, they did amazing animatronic work on top of that. So it's not like
And there was some pitch correcting with the voice as well.
Yeah. And so plenty of people got work out of this character, as well as, the filmmakers having permission to do so. However, I will admit, in the theater, when it first started happening, my brain was like, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. But as the work continued and the movie went on, I realized just how good of an effect it was. Is it perfect? No, but it's never going to be.
Yeah, it's always going to look a little uncanny when someone is dead.
Yeah,
and then they bring a whole digital recreation back from it. There's just this part. There's this part of the uncanny valley you're never really gonna get over. I think
it's not Tarkin.
But
that's all I have to say. It's not fucking Tarkin.
It isn't
But
Tarkin.
also
It was better than
because-
Tarkin, but I do.
But because this was a character that's supposed to be an android, and there was a lot of animatronics involved, to an extent, the uncanniness kind of worked for what was going on there, because androids can very easily fall into the uncanny valley, and sometimes, depending on the movie, they'll be put there deliberately. And in this case, it kind of worked for the character that they were going for. Badly damaged android and not working for the interests of the living people.
No.
Yeah.
I get it. I just there were shots where.
I also want to add to this. Like Fede himself has said, is like, yeah, the way we did shit here, that is not the efficient way of doing it. Like it is way easier to just get a different actor and just do shit like that. It's like, okay, this is the way we now did it, but this is totally not the model we want people to take with them to do this kind of shit in the future.
Yeah, I understand, and I am glad that they got permission from the estate of Ian Holm to do this. I'm glad of all that. There are just a couple of shots where it just didn't mesh, and mostly those were shots where it wasn't him being seen through a monitor. I feel like those digital recreations work best when there's a little bit of like through a I think Tarkin would, like in Rogue One, Tarkin would have worked better if you saw it as a hologram, because then the uncanniness can get filtered out by your mind of glitchy hologram stuff. There were times where it's like, I'm not feeling it. If they had a full animatronic that looked like Ian Holm, I actually probably would have liked just to see that. And then be like, because then it's just like, he got fucked up by an alien. But that's
again, they had, and then they decided to CG some over it.
the voice, very good. I was I didn't know if it was I thought that might have been like, did they just do some voodoo? Like I don't think it's AI, but it's it's really good.
And that's the thing. When I was sitting there in the theater, I'm like, okay, I can agree. There's some parts of the visual aspects that work and some that
Mhm.
don't. But then again, it's very new technology, and they did their best with what they were trying to do. The thing that really hammered it home and working for me was the VA's work, because
The VAs
those
I have
because those lines were delivered pitch perfect.
Mhm.
yes, I
Like,
agree.
they hit every time, and like the little confrontational quips back and forth between Rook and
Mhm.
Rain, I'm just like, I was like, it was in those moments where I was like in the theater. But
Yeah,
like,
and they had the VA on set to do the
Good.
performance right
That's
there.
mhm.
yeah. I applaud the VA for that. Um, my thing was just it. There were just a couple of times where the CGI took me just a little bit out, but it's as far as it's not a big issue for me. It's like, okay, there's a couple of scenes where it's like, I've seen movies I liked more where there have been. I like Sonic 2, but yeah, sometimes you look at that CGI in there and it's like, oh, you don't fit, but that's okay
Yeah,
because
the
it's
the
like
it,
it's
it
all
makes
right.
it makes sense. It makes sense at this type of character, but I do get that, like, with the type of effects that were used, it can have it can have some awkward qualities to it in
Yes.
some places.
Roy.
I still think it looked pretty good, especially the voice. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
totally get where you're coming from, Pass.
Yeah.
Don't fall asleep, Roy.
I'm not falling
But
asleep.
I will.
I just have a
will
natural
argue,
sleepy face. Sorry.
I will
Oh.
argue. I do just because when I think of Rook, I'm thinking, okay, it's a chess piece that's like Bishop. I do wish they had a different name, but that's a minor quibble for me. I'm like, it's fine, whatever.
It works to be the Ash model because, again, with the theme we got going on with the corporate slavery
True.
thingy, like, Ash was the one who was like really fucking dedicated to the goddamn company.
Mhm.
So having
True.
having an android like him trying to convert
Oh no, it needed to be Ash. It needed to be Ash. I wish they had picked a different name. That's all. That's all. I like, but
There
again.
are we could talk about this until the freaking cows come home.
But yes,
Moving on.
Well, yeah. So Navarro, who is the pilot, she gets face huggered, and they actually find a way of getting the face hugger to release her without killing her.
Freeze ray, motherfucker.
They use some of the cryo fuel to literally freeze the tail, and it lets go, and we get to see how big that ovipositor is. Like, I'm just like,
Long schlong McDong.
That maybe that was the John Holmes of face huggers.
No. As somebody who frequents in like monster fucker realms with literature, that was mid-size.
You know what? Well, okay. You know, maybe if the Hell of a Boss short number 3 was part of the Alien universe.
Oh God.
Oh my God, Pass.
Although there were some cool things they found. Like Bjorn found a cattle prod, and Navarro also had an X-ray light, which that creeped me out. That you can see the face hugger. He's like,
I loved it.
He's like, bang, hitting the ribs.
The fucking
Let me
Xeno.
out.
Yeah, seeing the Xeno trying to get out.
Yeah,
Well, I loved that X-ray light thing because I
Mhm.
don't know about you, but I was always that child that was doing like weird things with their body as like a form of play, and I would love finding like high power flashlights, even though they would burn, like, and like sticking them up to my hand and fingers and trying to see my bones.
Same.
And
Same.
I loved how they used like that very light shining through flesh effect versus trying to make it more like actually X-ray like, because
I
it was just
also
like,
love it
oh my
because
God, this looks so good.
It's like Weyland Yutani, where it's like, we did actually have X-rays where you could just continually hit X-rays. It gives people cancer. Weyland Yutani would definitely be like, give it to him. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but yeah,
So we get to see it.
I
Also
really
her
liked
death. Her death was so good.
her death was so good. And then we get to see a completely new phase of the alien cycle that we haven't seen on
Yes!
film yet. Which
Yeah,
is this
Yes!
like weird
little
chrysalis
The
chrysalis.
wall
phase.
vagina!
Yeah.
I'm sorry. At first I saw it. I'm like, I know it's a cocoon.
No, that was vaginal
That's
as
a
fuck.
giant wall vagina.
Yeah.
No, that was the Giger popping in again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
Also,
like I loved that entire scene because like you've got fucking Bjorn, Bjorn, who's found this cattle
Fucking
prod
Bjorn.
thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and abort this thing before it has a chance to escape." Just shoving the cattle prod in there. The fucking sound effects in that
Yeah.
one were just insane.
Mhm.
Like both my ears were both like absolutely lit up with joy, but at the same time just, oh my god, like what the fuck am I hearing?
Mhm.
And then all of that, and then it doesn't work, and then all that acid blood like drips on him and it just starts eating away at him, and you're just like, oh, I feel bad for Bjorn. I shouldn't feel bad for Bjorn, but now I feel
I
bad
did.
for Bjorn.
yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah, that's a pretty
It-
violent
it
way to
is-
go.
it is yeah, the idea is it's supposed to be the chest burster turns into this big old cocoon, a pupal stage of the xenomorph life cycle. And the thing and I'll be honest, this was when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, so that is a very impressive wall vagina because it takes a full vibrator and breaks that. And then it's a little later, it decides to squirt and kill the person who was using the vibrator. It's like, yeah, this is,
Jesus.
I know. See, now is the time you want to hit me with the bonk stick because it's like, yeah, no, I'm just like, and yes, I know it's a cocoon, but I just called it the wall vagina because it's
I
like,
mean, it's what it is.
yeah, and then it pops out, and I'm like, that is a very spiky clitoris. I'm good. What the fuck? And it's like, no, that's just the tail. Like, leave me alone.
I think it was at the head, but
No, that was I think that was the tail. Because
Yeah, the tail gets him. That's what. Yeah, that's why. He
oh, okay.
falls.
I thought the head came out first.
No,
Yeah, so we get all of these crazy scenes, like, and it by the time we get to like the crescendo of the movie, it's literally just Rain and Annie trying to get out of this.
Mhm.
Everybody else is dead. I
Oh.
love the fact that they brought back the guns from Aliens.
Yeah.
oh, there
Yeah,
was
Like
also
that
we-
was
one other.
that
We
was
have some
that
in
was
between
amazing.
pulse rifles.
Oh, there was also
Yeah.
one other thing I also wanted to bring as far as the plot. Sorry. So you know, we said like, oh, they swim now. Also, from last Sky, somehow Big Chap survived. So yeah, in the beginning, a remote controlled ship finds a big old cocoon which has Big Chap. If you don't know, Big Chap is the name of the original xenomorph from
Xenomorph, yeah.
Alien.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah, 'cause it doesn't
somehow
need air.
Big Chap survived. Well, he basically put himself in a big old cocoon and decided to take a nap. And yeah, again, it is the perfect organism. Well, it has to fight Shadow the Hedgehog to be the perfect organism. But yeah, and so the fact is, that's the whole thing why Ash is all like broken and shit is because they woke him up and he wasn't happy.
I mean,
So
they,
he
were,
just-
they were experimenting on him, and eventually he was able to break free.
Yeah,
And you can see his corpse.
Yep.
The harpoon that Ripley
Right.
stuck in him is still there.
that is also this is a minor quibble for me. I really would have wished he would have survived and been one of the major antagonists.
I'm cool with him actually being dead.
Yeah.
I would have. I don't like them killing him off screen. But
Well, he was
that's just
also
me.
it was kind of brought back out of nowhere, so.
That's
Yeah.
true, but yeah, no. So he's dead, and just like in Alien versus Predator, we now have like the one that came out of Navarro has a bunch of scorch marks on it, so we can tell that's the bad guy.
Yes.
I hope they always do that. Just Mark the bad guy one, and the other. Also, watching them come out of the cocoon with like his hands literally turned all the way back, and he's like, it's like, oh, good, that will be in my nightmares. Yay!
Yeah. So Rook did send out Andy to still recover something very important to the company on this particular station. In that room where they then also find the pulse rifles, they find something else as well, which is the goo.
Prometheus
It's
is
the
100%
Prometheus-
canon.
The Prometheus goo is gonna be it's gonna stay a part of the franchise clearly, because that's the thing that they found in the xenomorph DNA structure, what have you not, and that has allowed them to keep experimenting with shit.
Yeah, it also Rook basically 3D printed a bunch of facehuggers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, thanks
So
to the
so they could
genomes they found.
so they could extract the black goop.
The black goo.
Apparently, this one is also the ones that they took are actually modified. So there have been modifications to try to make them more compatible with people. But
Yeah,
there are some theories that come out that I'll hold
if you,
off on. But
if you also look at the general design of the if you look at the general design as well of the xenomorphs we currently have, they are very much like this in-between state between the alien and aliens xenos.
Mm-hmm. Well, this movie is supposed to be before Aliens, if I recall.
Oh yeah,
correctly.
yeah,
Yes,
very
it's
much
in
correctly.
between.
But
Alien
I
and
just
Aliens.
I just find that really nice. Just that we see the natural progression of like we had the very clear dome with Big Chap, but then we kind of see that evolution that could go to like the more rigid heads we have in Aliens.
So we get some pretty cool effects, scenes. We got the fucking zero gravity killing of aliens and trying to avoid the fucking acid
cool.
blood. We've got the most polite alien to catch her and then go, okay, and now I'm gonna kill you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was also a little bit. It's like, and now you're safe. All right, and time to nibble. Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, like okay.
Yeah,
which
which leads to one of the things where it's like in the movie where it's like, okay, movie, now you're going a little too far with the fucking callbacks, because that scene it's also where Andy then like stomps on the alien, shoots her, and then says, "Get away from her, you bitch."
That
And I'm
was
like-
a little awkward.
And
I'm
It's a
I'm
little-
like,
However,
didn't have any problem with it, but yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it because also, this is Andy. They've taken out the upgrades, so he's back to regular Andy. And yes, he says, "Get away from her," and you wait a little bit, and then he adds, "You bitch." So it feels like Andy doesn't quite understand humor, but that's okay.
Well,
yeah,
here's,
but
here's
to
the
me,
thing
to
I
me,
think
just
would have worked better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard this opinion elsewhere, and I agree. There's this whole setup with whenever Andy's trying to make Rain feel less stressed or sad,
Mm-hmm.
he tells dad jokes. And I feel like had he ended that with a like dad joke pun versus saying that line again, it would have felt more like Andy. I don't feel like it was necessarily a bad line read for the sake of a bad line read because it doesn't hit the same. And frankly, if they were to keep it, I think it should have been just get away from her and then just stopped right there and then let the audience fill in the blank.
yeah, because up until
I
that
think
point,
that would've worked
Andy didn't feel like the character who would just say something like that.
Yeah, he
That's
doesn't.
why that's
the only
that's
time
why,
he curses the entire freaking movie, which feels weird.
Yeah, it
But,
just feels like it comes out of nowhere. It just for the sake of the callback.
Yeah, it's very we need this. It's a check mark moment. Like, okay, we referenced the line, check.
Yeah, and there's there up until that point there have been plenty of callbacks, but most of them did not like bother me or anything. It was just this one. There was only this one where I was like, okay, that's a little too much here, movie. Come on.
It fell
I
flat.
understand.
It fell flat.
Yeah.
But it's funny because after that moment, that's when the movie really kicks into high gear with its, end crescendo and this movie definitely went to the Aliens school of false endings.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Good God,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
the last 15 minutes of this movie had me on edge the entire fucking time.
Oh yeah. Like remember what I said about the callbacks and such. I was not expecting this movie to pull a reverse Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Ookami. See, they saw it too. Fuck you.
Now,
Because
I will.
Ookami had.
There is a theory, and I am going to. I think this theory might be
Fuck
the
you
case.
right back, Docky boy.
You know how they actually show how the goop works because they have a log where they take a mouse and they smush it, smush, smush, smush,
Yep.
and then they give it the black goo and it kind of bloop, 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 bloop. And then it kind of you see at the end like, oh, something didn't quite work right. I believe that what was her name?
K.
Annie.
K.
K?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think that I'm gonna say this. The theory is that she actually suffered a miscarriage when she fell getting out of the ship.
Given how she held, yeah. When she
Mhm.
fell, I'm like, that kid's dead.
Yeah.
Which is fine
Yeah.
because it's an inbred baby. But I think then when she is injured, she's bleeding out. She uses the black goop to try to survive to get to the pod and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the pod is like, something's wrong here, so no. And yeah, she gives birth to a
Well,
To an engineer, baby.
this
to
is
a
how
pod from pod people.
So I agree with you. The way she fell, it was probably a very instantaneous miscarriage. It was in its very early stages of trauma. The thought was, if I take the goo, I will save myself. I
Yeah.
will heal myself. But instead, it healed
The baby.
Help the baby.
the baby instead. And the whole reason the cryopod fails is when she goes in, it registers one life form.
Yeah.
As the goo is working, all of a sudden there is two life forms and the cryopod can't sustain that.
Yeah.
And that's why it malfunctions.
Yeah.
But
yeah, as I said with like the reverse Alien Resurrection, because like in Alien Resurrection we had the whole xenomorph human hybrid happening there as well, but it was way more. It had more of a xeno-like quality. With this one, it looks way more like human/engineer-esque, but then still has like the it has the fucking holes in the back. It has the tail.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
does.
it's one gangly freaky motherfucker. I'll give it that. And I'm
Mhm.
still surprised by the fact that this is an actual. They got an actual 7'7" dude
From Serbia.
and from I think it was from Romania actually.
Is it Romania?
I thought it was Romania. Yeah,
He's
Okay.
Romanian.
Okay.
it was born in Arad, Romania. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, like they put a whole makeup and body cast on him like that, and again, like it just looks freaky as all fuck.
It does. But it also, that just does seem like a callback to the first Alien movie where they just found this dude.
Well, it's less
In a
of
bar.
it's less of a
Mhm.
callback necessarily, and more of a return to form as far as filmmaking process is concerned.
Yeah.
Could they have gone
true.
full CGI with that guy? Absolutely. Did they choose to go more practical for the sake of, making more believability in his movements and in his presence and the weight of him on film? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
Which was
And
lovely in my
at
opinion.
at first I thought it was like just a very good animatronic because as was also shown in a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, they did make a lot of really good animatronics for the Xenos themselves.
Mhm.
And we already saw what they were able to do in AVP with the Xenomorph animatronic there. So it's like, okay, maybe they just did something similar here. But it's like, no, it's an actual dude in the fucking suit. It's like, God.
Yeah, it is because it first it comes out, it's in like a little pod, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and there's just a little baby, but then it's like, wait, oh shit, acid for blood, and it just falls in the cargo out, and then Oh dear, that
After
thing is creepy.
after it sucked out the rest of the fucking black goo out of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. Yeah, well, it wanted to suckle, and yeah, that didn't. Oh yeah, she was mutating because she was now basically had black goo boob milk. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was like okay. I will say I loved it because it's like oh great, yay, more nightmare fuel. It's like
Oh yeah.
Giger would be proud of the nightmare fuel.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, that one has then the classic thing of being able to be eventually, after a whole bunch of mucking around, maybe not, shoot it out into space with half of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that
Yeah.
was really cool. So
It was super cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, no, I really like this movie.
I love
This
it.
was a really fun movie.
I hold it up there, honestly. Like, of all the Alien films I've seen, it's literally gonna now go like Alien, Aliens, and this.
Yeah,
Same.
it's
Yeah.
easily the third best Alien movie we have up until this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I have one of those things where if I hold something in high enough regard, that I see it as almost equal to other things that I love. Like for me, I have a hard time saying which one I like more, Aliens or Alien. Like so, I tend
It's
to think
hard.
of because I just have this tendency to be like, no, they both hold the same slot,
Mm-hmm.
and right
Mhm.
now this is firmly sitting at number 2 of 2
Yeah.
slots,
I would,
which
I would
contains
say-
3 movies.
I
But
will say, yeah, I would put it in the top 3, but it is 3.
And-
Yeah.
and
I'll agree with
and
that.
yeah, that
I-
is my thoughts on that.
I had so much fun going to see this in the theater. It's been so long since I've gone to see a horror movie in the theater, and there were literally points where I had to cover my eyes. There were points where I jumped in my seat, slammed back down, and started laughing because that's what I do when.
I mean,
Like,
you
it's-
did say like you could not look at the fucking pregnancy scene.
The giving birth scene,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely the fuck not. I realized
I
what was
entire
happening.
time. Oh, you would hate me. The entire time, I'm watching this film, and I'm like, Sis told me that there was these scenes that she just had to cover her eyes. And I'm like, so what is it? Like, what? Then that happened, and I'm like, and just a shit-eating grin goes on my face, like, oh, and then I just like,
Mhm.
I could even tell there was other people like eyes covered and shit, and I'm just like eating it up.
Oh, I knew you would. I knew you would. It was just being able to tell you there was one scene where I couldn't physically watch the whole thing.
I get
Was enough to get you jazzed to go see this thing in the theater.
Mhm.
I have actually been contemplating going to see it again in the theater because I
did
definitely
see it
want to see
twice.
this again. Cool.
You did.
I definitely want to see this again. I
Mhm.
want multiple viewings of this.
I highly recommend doing that. You get little pieces of you get little things that you didn't catch before, which I always like. And this is one of those movies that really does. It's really great to see it in a theater. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
going into my
With,
collection when
like,
it hits
the
physical.
big screen
Oh, yeah.
sound effects and
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did want to just mention something really quick that I just now remembered. Like when you see Big Chap in the little cocoon, and it looks like it's so when I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I saw what you did there. Oh, sneaky. It looks so much like Giger's painting of, I believe,
Indeed.
Necronomicon 4,
Mhm.
I believe.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, Giger had a book of art, and this was stuff that, like, things that might eventually got that, but Necronomicon 4, and I'll put this in for anybody in our little chat for us. Necronomicon 4 is the inspiration for the
Weird
Xenomorph.
Xenomorph. Yeah.
like Ridley Scott saw that and says, "That's the xenomorph
Yep.
right there." And that Cocoon looked at it and was like, "Oh, that's a nice callback. I like
very-
it.
Yep, I've
That was a
seen
very
this.
geeky
That is a
moment.
penis.
That yes,
That's a
a
penis.
penis." But yeah, that was like Ridley Scott saw that and said, "That is what we're doing for the alien," and don't go too far off of that. Also, Necronomicon 5 is the space jockey.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if you really are interested in his work, I would definitely recommend taking a look at his Necronomicon book.
Mhm.
Yes.
Definitely.
Anyway, final thoughts.
This is a
Yeah,
good
as a-
movie. I want to.
It's a really good one. Yeah.
When it hits physical, I will definitely be putting this on my shelf. This is why, to me, I can hold it with the other two, because I don't really rank them. I just say, hey, here's a group of 3 films that I could absolutely rewatch again and again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it's easily the third best for me. Overall, I still really liked it. Like what I liked, way overstepped what I did not like that much about the movie. Like the only things I kind of like that I have some criticisms about is like that half the cast, like half the crew, didn't really feel like they had much going on with the rest of them, and also some of the callbacks, as I said, like did get like a little like okay we get it movie, we get it, like okay we are redoing the entire opening of the first movie here, okay, and now you're getting that line. It's like okay, I do get it there. But again, in the end, it did not detract that much from it.
Yeah, I agree with Varren, and that's why when I saw it, I say this is the best fan film ever made, for better and for worse. Because I can see people being kind of sick of all the callbacks and all these random little things and yada yada. But also, if you are a fan of Alien and Alien, well, the franchise like that, the fact that you have these callbacks and Easter eggs, they're gonna feel like this is something for you, and
Yeah. And
it's very much
it's not that it's initially a bad thing, like not at all. It's just how you handle it.
yeah. That's the thing. At the end of the day, it's like I don't think this is. If I had to give rankings, we don't do that here. But if I had to, it's the most like 7.5, 8 out of 10 movie. I would agree. I think it's good. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. It does a lot of interesting things. But there are a few things that like I can see holding people enjoyment. Like the big one for me personally is that I didn't get tense from the false endings. At a certain point, I was like, "Can we get this over with already?" But I know people will disagree with me on that. I know Ookami did. I know you guys do. It's just at a certain point near the end, I was like, "Okay, are we done yet?" It's still alive. Okay, are we done yet?
No, again,
Okay, now we're done.
because this movie goes to the aliens school of false endings.
Yeah,
I-
yeah, that is
yeah.
a big thing. Yeah.
But no,
But-
if you like this movie, I would also highly recommend you go check out the game Alien Isolation, because as
That
I
is
said,
okay.
like there's a lot of that DNA as well into this, and Alien Isolation is also a really fun story.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, I would probably also give it. I'd probably go with like an 8.5 out of 10, which is good, which is really, really good. I do think that Alien and Aliens are both better, and it kind of depends on my mood of which one I like more at the time. This is very good. I think it was a good thing to kind of go back with a lot of callbacks after the whole issue with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I feel also the xenomorphs feel they're not just they don't feel mindless. Like there does seem to be they added intelligence. Like one was stalking Kay, and Andy's like, I'm not opening the door because it will kill us all. They're like, please open the door, dude. It's gonna kill us all. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it went back to form, and I really like it, and I would like to see if this director would like to do, if they're going to do other ones. It's like, okay, what do you have? Do you have anything else you want to add to it? If not, that's okay. But I would like to see more of where they want to go in this universe
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
and stuff
god.
like that.
What?
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
I mean, yes, but Okami, it's. I don't need to say anything past just still everything I was gonna say.
Oh shit.
I'm
For
sorry.
for once
Oh,
you and
I'm
I.
so-
No, I think this is great. I think it's rather wild for once you and I are in complete agreement, so I don't need to say shit. I
Yeah.
think that's great.
I will say, let's give a little bit of time to the one person that hasn't really spoken much. Hey, Roy, how do you feel about this whole movie?
It was a pretty solid film. I got a little bit too sick about the callbacks. Several things didn't make sense, and I get much too much mustache twirling. Um, I wouldn't put him up with the original two, but it's a decent, maybe 5, 6 on the radar.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
a lot of disapproving.
I know, right?
No, it is. My is more.
Opinions are opinions.
I do not agree. I do not agree with it, but I mean,
Yeah.
Roy made his points. I understand, and I think they are valid points, even if I don't agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
Yeah,
that's
and
Like,
here's
I
the thing.
joke.
Here's the
Go
thing.
ahead.
I know Roy and I share a lot of the same gripes. The major difference is Roy is less forgiving about those gripes, and that's
Mhm.
valid. And that's valid.
it is completely valid.
But
Yeah.
Grave, your final thoughts, so we can wrap this up.
I really had a lot of fun with this movie. And, like most of you guys, I rank it up there with the first two films. Because it's kind of. Is it perfect? No. But the like the gripes and the problems with it, I was able to overlook them and still, enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's kind of what you want out of, an alien movie.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have that fun roller coaster and just kind of enjoy things. But yeah, I mean, at the end, it did seem to go on a little too long. But the final parts, where she ejects it out of the ship, that kind of, even though I had to wait for it, I really enjoyed the ending. And I'm really hoping that the next, Alien movie kind of follows this trend, because it kind of feels like the franchise is back on track.
And as I also want to one quick shout out as well. I want to say to Mr. Alec Gillis, who has been an effects guy on these movies since Aliens. He was part of Prey, and he's also still part of now Alien Romulus as well, because
Awesome.
he was the effects supervisor on this movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah.
that, you want to take us out, Okami?
Yep. With all that said, definitely check this out. Like I said, at the end of the day, fun fucking movie. Watch it. Enjoy it. I don't care. Just check it out. Give it your money. Anyways. So, yeah, we are wrapping up. This is the wrap-up of Fall of the Hunt. I hope everybody had a good time. Enjoyed
Thanks,
several times of
14 movie roller coaster.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
I had a wonderful time watching all the ripoffs. It was great. Especially my favorite alien on Earth.
I will destroy you one of these days. I
Oh no,
swear.
destroy me, destroy Disney. They want to make it into a series.
With all of that said, Xeiren, where can people find you?
Xeiren. You can find me over on TikTok. You can find me over on Instagram. You can find me on Threads. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky. And you can find me every Monday playing RPGs with Varren over here and driving him crazy.
Excellent. Fair.
Well, as she says, you can find me over on twitch.tv/VarrenKimbold, where every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. Central European Time, you can see me play all kinds of fun games. Mondays RPGs with this red-haired menace. Wednesdays strategy shooter, something else with an S. And Fridays I play whatever the hell I can find. You can also find me over on Blue Sky at VarrenKimbold. You can also find me over on YouTube at VarrenKimbold for VODs and compilations of my streams. If you want to indulge some of the OC content I do every now and then, you can find it over on TikTok at VarrenKimbold. And I still have a Twitter around, but to be warned, I just do whatever the fuck I want on there.
Excellent. Grave, where is the turtle today?
I'm sneaking into the Weyland-Yutani office and lowering everyone's required hours. No one will notice the turtle.
Fair. That needs to happen.
Pat?
Pass.
You can find me over on Twitch and YouTube. At the thing of username thing, pass_the_remote, where I normally actually talk better than now, but blah, brain not speak.
We're tired. It was long recording session.
You'll find me there at pass_the_remote. Mondays and Tuesdays you'll see me with doing shenanigans, and with Ookami we'll do channel flip and Toku Tuesday, where we decide to go and watch Japanese folks wear spandex and fight rubber monsters. It's quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll also find me on the was it Zitter?
Zitter.
On the hellscape known as Zitter, at Pass the Remote CF, where I show that Elon Musk made a very big brain move, spending like $50 billion being able to buy a social media platform and making it absolutely worse every day.
Yep. Excellent. Roy.
You can find me here at the Wolf's Productions, right here in the Starlight. You're a rare and obscure, hard to find media goes there. Red Light, your home videos is our horror. And we got some love mail, some hate mail, some Weyland-Yutani mail, some cryo mail, some how can we not discover this floating satellite under our radar mail. You can send it to starlightpodcast@protonmail.com. We also have a Zitter over at our capital R, capital L, capital P, capital S, Starlight. Yeah, RLP Starlight. Give us some recommendations, some commendations. Just say hi. We'd love to hear from you. We also do lists and reviews over at criticlist.com. Your alternative to Rotten Tomatoes. Go check us out. See what we can find. Enjoy the site as it is. It's awesome. Doc.
You can also find me at criticlist.com under Chaotic Doctor, where I have made reviews and lists on similar sci-fi properties for better and for worse. You can also find me here at Wolf's Den for things like Late to the Murder Party, The Red Light, and The Starlight, but also the podcast I host, the Over the Years podcast, where I take Roy through a decade plus of hip-hop and rap music and wonder if it's really worth going in between the years.
Excellent. You can, of course, find me here on Podbean and YouTube with Wolfson Productions. From goofy-ass anime to the shocking horror, Wolfson Productions, your number one stop for equally nerdy reviews of nerdy media. You can also find me over on the Zitter under Mistress Ookami. That is Mistress Ookami. That's my name. Don't wear it out. And if you're feeling extra generous, head on over to the Wolfson Patreon, where you get access to episodes that may or may not drop to the general public. Episodes that most certainly will not be dropping to the general public. Behind the scenes, all sorts of goodies, all for just a measly $1 a month. Remember, folks, your $1 a month, that can go a long, long way. And that's it, folks. I have no idea what we plan to do after this. This could end up being the last Lights of the Murder Party for the year. I don't know. I'm fucking tired.
We can also do the other Alien alternative, Split Second, with Rutger Hauer.
That, Roy, that for Starlight.
I don't need any more right now. So
I tell you what. I tell you.
I'm a taking nap. Taking
Look,
nap right here.
Ookami is going to go and snuggle up next to the giant wall vagina and take a nap.
Okay, I will say this: we're gonna take a little bit of a break, but I do have one more little fun project in this vein.
Mm-hmm.
But that will be a Patreon exclusive.
Mm-hmm. There is one more Lights of the Murder Party I am trying to plan out. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. Until next time, folks, and because it's the 25th, not actually the 31st, but close enough. Happy Halloween, everybody!
Yeah.
Happy Halloween!
Happy
Spooky,
Halloween.
scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
And
Don't
don't forget, happy Halloween.
Don't
And
forget the
don't
big
forget-
giveaway at 9.
You're damn right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Happy
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween from the
So-
podcast.
From the podcast.
I'm gonna choke
we're
on
gonna
my
do that, I
howl
need to
if I
think-
keep getting interrupted.
Just start the howl, sweetheart.
Can I interest you in some cave diving in Italy?
Stop making Alien 2 on Earth happen!
Something's wrong, guys.
It's oh
Oh, what the hell?
I'm out.
um.
I think I broke it.